Buckle up.
Come on with this one.
I find your rigidity highly commendable. But my soul is one you do not want to trample upon. My demands are quite simple, but I won't divulge them just yet.
Hi guys, you are welcome to another episode of Relufe Review, a show where we objectively review the Nigerian art, music, movies, and entertainment in general. Like I always say before I forge ahead, please note that all the views and opinions expressed here are all mine. Anything I say here is my personal opinion based off on my personal bias, not on any standard or any measures. My name is AY with the double O. Let's get right into the movie for today. The movie we are going to be reviewing today is none other than Tòkunbò. One amazing thing I like about Tòkunbò is that Tòkunbò is the name of the main character in the film, and Tòkunbò is also a term used for cars that are being smuggled from any part of the world, generally into Nigeria. It's a term used in Nigeria. We call them Tòkunbò. Tòkunbò is a Yoruba term and it means Tòkunbò. Okun means like sea, so anything that crosses the sea, but more importantly it's for cars. It's a term used for cars. And Tòkunbò played the role of Tòkunbò is Tòkunbò, by the way, rather. Gideon Okeke played the role of Tòkunbò, and Tòkunbò is the name of the person that is a car smuggler. So Tòkunbò in that movie is a car smuggler. Now the term used for the vehicles is also his name, coincidentally, but of course originally written like that, by the scriptwriter of the film. It's a Netflix movie and it was directed by Ramsey Noah. For me, I'd say that Ramsey Noah is a veteran actor, so I wouldn't expect less from him. I think he did a good job. He did what he was supposed to do. So, I will not give you all the glory for that. I won't give Ramsey Noah all the glory, but I think that it was a great movie. Let's go straight into the plot of the story. Tòkunbò tells the story of Tòkunbò, right? Gideon Okeke played the role of Tòkunbò, whose child was, of course, hospitalized and needed 9.5 million naira. So he had choices to make. He, of course, was a car smuggler, but wasn't earning like so much, at least not as much as raising 9.5 million naira in the space of a day or two. He didn't have that money and started to source around for it and had to do shady things, of course, to get the money. Now, at some point, he had to pick up things to deliver. That was the role he had to play. Of course, that was the job given to him. And he had different tasks to deliver things to certain places, some containing art substances and all that. But the biggest package that he had to deliver was when he had to deliver a human being. And that was, at that point, Tòkunbò was like, okay, I'm a bad guy, but I'm not this bad. And we saw that part where, it was a bit difficult for him to do. But towards the end of the movie, he was able to pull that out. And of course, we saw politics evolve in the movie. Now, the supposed child that he was to kidnap and take to a certain location was the daughter of the central bank governor. Now, the central bank governor had till the following day to make a policy, to give out a policy, and that policy was going to affect some people in the political space who had illegal operations, and that policy would put a stop to their illegal operations. So they were there to stop it. Now, it turns out our assistant was the person that was involved, in the kidnap. He was the main kidnapper in the story. He kidnapped the daughter with the help, of course, of someone that was working for her as well. Ify Okujai played that role, and of course I knew that there had to be somebody in-house because the kidnap of the daughter was rather easy, it was convenient, it was more like they knew where to go to, they had all of the information. So from the first 2, 3, 4, 5 scenes, I could tell that the kidnap had to be within. It had to be somebody within that already knew like the in and out and all that, which they were guessing as well while she was trying to look for her daughter. Tòkunbò had choices to make. I would say that I saw desperation. There was a desperate father ready to save his child. At the same time, he had a good side to him. Like, okay, I'm human after all. I'm a husband, I'm a father, and I understand what it would feel like if my own child was to be kidnapped. And I think it was just lucky. In the sense of how the movie eventually played out. So we saw politics and a lot of that. And for the actors in the movie, we had Funlola Ofi-Ebiraimi. And I'll say that anything that I see Funlola Ofi-Ebiraimi in is always a hit. Like, she doesn't miss. She's one of those actors for me that I'll say that she's a top-notch actor. She doesn't miss. She's been doing this for ages. And it seems like the role she played in Tòkunbò is more like a stereotype role. It's something that I've seen her in over and over and over again. And this time around, she didn't disappoint. Funlola Ofiyebi-Raimi played the role of the central bank governor. Tòkunbò was played by Gideon Okeke. We had Darasimi Nadi in the movie. We had Norbert Young in the movie. We had Majid Michael, Ivio Kujaye, and a list of, a couple of other actors as well. We had Stanley Funibon, the comedian, and a long list of them. So I'll just go straight into the rating criteria for the movie. So for the plot of the story, I'd say that the plot is a good storyline, of course, good story, well put together. And for the kidnap part, they already told us, we were let into the fact that Tòkunbò was supposed to kidnap, somebody. I would have preferred he just saw that package, a whole human being in his vehicle, and even leave us, the viewers, to wonder, what's going to happen there. I think they told us that part too early, and that was the highlight of the movie, like the whole kidnap. So I feel like they let us in on that too early in the movie. That could have maybe stayed a bit longer. So, but for the plot of the story, the plot of the movie rather, it's a good plot. I'll give it a good 7.5 over 10. Now let's move to the theme of the movie. Now this theme explores desperation. It also explores corruption as well, systemic corruption, if you ask me. And I'll say that I saw corruption for the high-profile people. Now there's the central bank governor dealing with a daughter being kidnapped, and corruption in our own space, with our own colleagues, among people that are close to her work. And there's also corruption with Tòkunbò and his own average family kind of people. His friend was even trying to sell him out, for money to the police and all that, because the friend eventually knew that he was the daughter of the CBN governor that was kidnapped was in his custody. So I saw that what happens with the high-profile people also happens with people down there. And it shows the typical Nigerian setting, the typical corruption that we have in Nigeria. That's exactly what I saw there. And for the desperation part, it shows how far you are willing to go if you are faced with challenges, if you're faced with certain situations. That person that you think you are will have to come, to one side. And I saw that. How far are you willing to go? Like Tòkunbò is here, his child is sick, he has to save his child, and he has the option of taking the kidnapped. Of course, he's even the one doing the kidnap, because the daughter that has been kidnapped is in his custody. So he had desperate decisions to make, or he had to make decisions quick and instant, and it shows how far you would go. I saw desperation, I saw systemic corruption, and they explored those things very well. So for the theme of the movie, I'll give it a good 8.5. Let's go to the acting of the movie. Outstanding performances. Now, minus the fact that we have top actors in the movie, we can have star-studded actors filled up in a movie. That movie is star-studded, but they might still not deliver. So I'll say for the acting of the movie, even these actors have to come together. Like each acting has to allow the other acting, each actor has to allow the other actor to shine, which was what I saw. Funlola Ofiyebi shine in the movie as the CBN governor that she was. Gideon Okeke equally had enough time to shine as well. And there was another development, of course, in the movie. We saw Gaza in the movie, played by Chidi Mokeme. Now, Chidi Mokeme was more like an area lord, in charge of, like, in the cabal, in their own territory, like in the average, but he was a big boy, but a street guy that was also very corrupt, into shady and illegal things to make money. A lot of these people had gone to meet him for help, and he was always in the wrong, right? But I liked how initially I'm like, what's Tòkunbò doing? Because Chidi Mokeme played the role of Gaza, but I didn't think that Gaza was as scary as maybe they wanted to portray in the film. I've seen Chidi Mokeme play Scar in Shantytown, and I'll say that Gaza is like a mockery, a mock of who Chidi Mokeme was as Scar in Shantytown. But we're not comparing movies here. I'm just saying that I've seen him play this role of being a street guy, street king, better than he played in the movie Tòkunbò. So, his role was also very important. He added that extra icing to the movie, and all of that. But each actor gave it their best. I'll give it a good 8.5 for the acting of the movie. So for the attraction of the movie, I'll say the moral dilemma for me was the attraction. Now, it was between Tòkunbò and Funlola Ofiyebi, which was played by Funlola Ofiyebi, the CBN governor rather, which was played by Funlola Ofiyebi. I'll say Tòkunbò had the moral dilemma to choose between his desperate situation and also being a good person that he was, and that for me was the attraction. Like, I can see a bad car smuggler here, but I can also see that calm person that had a good heart to save somebody's child. Like, okay, I'm tasked, with kidnapping this person, but can I really do this? And it was a bit interesting. It was not a bit. It was very interesting. Rather, it was beautiful to see, and it was also beautiful to see that behind that CBN governor, high-profile woman that Funlola Ofiebi played, the mother in her still came out, because of course in the first scenes I saw that she was she was too calm in her role as a mother, because I almost didn't really see the connection between herself and the daughter, because in my head, like, okay, all these high-profile people, they rather, keep their children with the help and all that to monitor them and all. But eventually, I saw that mother in her come out and like, okay, this is my daughter we're talking about here. I have to save her, which was also good to watch. So for the attraction of the movie, which I saw moral dilemma, I'll give it a good 8.5 over 10. So for the dialogue of the movie, I would say that it's also between Tòkunbò and Funlola Ofiebi for CBN governor. So Tòkunbò, being there with the calm words, at some point he had to take it low, like take it easy with those that were reaching out to him to kidnap him. Like, okay, was trying to come to a midpoint, like, can we bargain or something? And I'm like, okay, what's all that guy gone to? And also seeing Funlola Ofiebi Raimi come up with her lines as, I'm a CBN governor. She was giving us the lines, giving us those. I'm like, what is going on here? So seeing that and the mixture of, other things, and the conversations were good. There was no conversation that was not important, in the movie. They were not doing too much. They were doing what was just right for the movie. So for the dialogue, I'll give it a good 8.5 over 10. Now, the cinematography of this movie is the highlight of the movie for me, because the cinematography it was almost distracting, I'd say. It was almost distracting for the visual, the lighting and the setting and everything. The difference between what was happening in reality, like, okay, this daughter being kidnapped, with the scenes with Tòkunbò moving the daughter everywhere, and what was happening on the ground, I would say on the world, with Majid Michael, who was the CBN governor's assistant, was overwhelming. It was mind-blowing. It seemed like they were at some point, it felt like watching two different movies. And he also just showed the demarcation. Like, I could see the crystal clear line, like, okay, what's happening at this end and what's happening at this end. Two different things, and they put it together to make an amazing movie. They gave us that feel into what was happening with Majid Michael, and they also gave us the feel into what was happening in the real world, which was the girl being kidnapped. So it felt like two different things happening at the same time, but giving us each, like, welcoming us into each part, and also at the end of the day, you're not bored and all that. I wasn't bored. I don't know about you. You should watch the movie and tell me what you think. I wasn't bored. It kept me on my seat from start to finish of the movie. So for the cinematography, which was the highlight for me, I'll give it a good 9.5 over 10. For the directing of the movie, I would say that Ramsey Nouah did an amazing job. It did an amazing job. It was able to, like, when you have different plots, like twist, of course, there's this story of the kidnapped child. They're still taking us back to Tòkunbò's life story. They're taking us down to politics and different things being explored in the movie. And you're able to put that together, and it comes out as a great movie. I think that the director, of course, did a good job. And I don't know if he had more plans or he didn't meet up to what he wanted to do, but he did meet up to my own expectation. And I would say that for the direction of the movie, it's a good 8.5 over 10. For the it factor, Tòkunbò sums up as a must-watch, a must-see, one of a kind, unique movie for me. Anything that makes me sit and I don't get up from the start to finish of any movie, it's a one-of-a-kind movie. It's unique. The storyline is not particularly new, but they were able to make, twist politics into it around the kidnapped daughter. And I like the thing they did there with Tòkunbò and the name, that he gave the character, and the fact that he was a car smuggler and all of that. I think the car smuggler thing was a bit it gave me that sexiness. A one-of-a-kind movie, yeah, of course. The it factor, I'll give it a 9 over 10. It's a one-of-a-kind movie. You should definitely watch Tòkunbò. Overall, from this end, Tòkunbò gets 8 over 10. It's a one-of-a-kind movie. Very unique, if you ask me, and it's a must-watch for everybody. It's on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, please go ahead to watch Tòkunbò. It's a unique movie. It's compelling storyline. It's something that would keep you in your seat. You want to watch it. You want to, of course, know what happened towards the end of the movie. I like that, the two guys jazz her out of that. I like that he was killed, you know. I like what also happened with Tòkunbò now being the driver of the kidnapped child. You know, she requested that, okay, this person has saved my life, and we had great chemistry. And then, of course, Fulola Ofiyebi told us in the last scene that, you know, my daughter pestered me to do this. So, of course, you have it, you know, it can be your driver. I like how the story ended. And I think with the revelation about Tòkunbò's wife being pregnant again, it was a happy ending, a very good ending. A must watch. Go and watch it if you haven't watched it, and just go and watch it. Go and watch it and give your reviews. If you have watched it and you agree or you disagree with my final verdict, let me know as well in the comment section. And if you have any movie whatsoever that you'd like for us to review right here on Relufe Review, drop it as well in the comment box. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. More importantly, if you've just seen this, if this is your first time passing by, please click the subscribe button, watch the movie, talk about it, join me in the comment section. Of course, I want it to be engaging, so drop all the comments that you can. Now, my name is Ewa with the Double One. Of course, I'd see you on another episode of Relufe Review.